Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson, and this is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are reviewing a movie that came out last year that has got a mixed sort of reviews about it.
It's got mixed reviews about it.
Well,
Yeah.
mixed.
Now, some people like... Hey, look, why don't we just introduce it?
Will do. So it's called Wonka, which was released in 2023, and we'll go and get into it now.
There's been several, two at least, yeah. The Gene Wilder one back in the Charlie and Chocolate Factory, and there was another one. What was the other one
That
called?
was the Tim Burton one, which was just called Willy Wonka's and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah, so there might have been some other things rolling around there, but this is about the third one, and we only did it because it's reasonably new. We haven't done a fantasy, let alone a musical.
Yeah, of
for
course
a while.
this one's a prequel.
Yeah, it's a prequel to when he was a young Wonka.
Yeah, before he became the man we all know today. But of course, in this one, it has a few chocolate Easter eggs in this one, where it just talks about the previous Gene Wilder one, obviously. You know, like the Oompa Loompas have green hair, orange faces,
blah, blah, blah.
stuff like that. And there's a lot of other stuff there that sort of talks about the... Well, it just has all the Easter eggs that just shows you a little bit of the key elements to the story from the original, obviously.
Yep. Having said all that, let's get into the other crap. All the good bits. Produced by David Heyman, Alexandra Derbyshire, and Luke Kelly.
Right.
Directed by Paul King. Obviously based on Roald Dahl's the book.
Yes.
Okay, story by Paul King, screenplay by Simon Farnaby and Paul King.
Right.
Starring, I'm not going to go for the whole lot. There's a whole lot of people here. I'll only mention a couple of them.
Yeah, good idea.
There we go. Finished. No. Okay, no. The main role, Willy Wonka, is being played by a French-American, or American-French, whatever, Timothy Chalamet. I think it's the right pronunciation of his name. And he was actually cited by somebody, Paul King or somebody, and even without an audition, because he'd seen him do a stage play or something else, he said, I want that guy.
This makes me think of the story about Daniel Radcliffe, who was spotted by the director or the or whoever.
Said, I want that guy.
And wanted him to star as Harry Potter.
Yeah. No, anyway, Hugh Grant is in it as an Oompa Loompa. And I thought, I don't know. But he did a good role because it wasn't straight Oompa Loomping like it did in the other movies. So it worked out pretty good.
Yeah. A lot of people had a big problem with that, especially the dwarf community.
Yeah, well, but an
dwarf
Oompa
acting
Loompa's not a
community.
dwarf. That's the whole bloody problem. They used dwarves in the first movie.
Yeah, and they used a dwarf in the Tim Burton one.
I don't know if he's a dwarf
well,
or just a
actually
short guy.
He was a short guy.
And the short guy's not a dwarf.
And they just shrinked him down
that's not what I
CGI-wise to make it fit the pygmy
What I
approach.
said, a short person is not a dwarf. There's a difference, okay?
But he's not an Oompa Loompa.
No, but the point is, the other guy in the Tim Burton was not a dwarf. He was a short guy. He was many smaller.
Okay.
But
anyway the point I'm trying to make is that in the book, the Oompa Loompas are supposed to be short, like short up to your... very short, just pretty
up
much.
to your knee or something. Whatever.
Yeah.
Really long. Anyway, I will mention one other person. We do get Rowan Atkinson playing a bit role as a priest.
Yeah.
In it.
Just as a co-star.
As a key, a bit role. And he does it quite funny. A typical Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to talk about any boss. There are lots of other good people in it. However, I'll be here all night. Yeah. I suppose. Budget. Love this bit. these sort of extravaganzas usually cost a bit. A budget, 125 million. Okay. And box office got about 618 million. So it did make some money back.
Yeah.
Heaven knows what's going to do on home media.
I
God,
know.
I mean,
I can't really
I
tell.
don't know.
Well, it's already released on home media.
No, you just said that, but I don't have any figures.
Know.
But if it was that good at the box office, chances are people are going to buy it and stream it and every other bloody thing and make a lot more money for them. Yeah, so I think I'll let you do your bit now. Yeah, carry on.
So anyway, guys, as I was saying, the dwarf community got really annoyed by the fact it was not done by just an ordinary a dwarf person. But as I said before, if it wasn't for a dwarf actor who got too big for his you-know-what...
Sarah,
he
we told the story?
He was trying to make out that dwarfs should not be typecast in such roles like this, or in Snow White, the one that was going to get done, but then the producers decided to cast ordinary people, and that set more of the dwarf community on edge.
Whoopee, you told the story.
Anyway, so I'll get into the story now, guys. So the story begins where we see Willy Wonka arriving on a boat to hopefully get his career on the roll, because he hopes to become a chocolatier, if that's the term. But the big problem is he is such a good-natured fellow. He kind of ended up spending his money too quickly. He had 20 sovereigns.
And they disappeared pretty quick the first day.
Yeah, and eventually he has no other sovereign, so he ends up staying in the most lowest part of
France
town.
Paris? It says Europe, but it looks like France.
It could be one of those. Anyway, he goes to some person who owns owns a boarding house or sort. I'm not sure.
It's a boarding house, yeah.
However,
there's also a laundry attached to it.
Yeah. She gives him this very big contract that has an extension of extra stuff on it.
Oh, it's page after page. But the thing is, Willy Wonka can't read. So he just signs blindly on the bottom line. Don't do that, guys.
No, we don't do that. Anyway, he is then introduced to Noodle, who tries to whisper to him that, don't read the fine print.
Consider you can't read doesn't help, can it?
No. Anyway, he's put into his room. It's a very cheap accommodation. And, of course, as he's settling in, he tries to make his ends... He tries to impress people at the the streets with his chocolate.
There's a place down at the Galeries Gourmet, which is like a big market.
A big market for chocolates.
Upper-class market. And he tries to sell chocolates in the street there. And there's about 3 other chocolate manufacturers, distributors there, who do not want the competition.
You may recognize them from the book and from the previous other movies, obviously, because they play a very big role in this. In this one, they're they're like a mafia, if you can call it that, where they would
It's like a cartel, actually.
Yeah. A cartel of chocolate, where they
Uncle Carlos and stuff.
where they're the three main, as I said, cartel, and they hold the most power in the chocolate industry.
They do. And the police chief has a sweet tooth, so they just bribe him with chocolates all the time.
Yeah,
Easy.
to keep his mouth shut.
And your tummy big.
Yes, exactly so.
And he gets bigger and bigger for the movie.
Yeah.
So.
As Willy tries to impress the crowd with his flying chocolate, which is really impressive, except when Slugworth eats it, he says, "Oh, this has many flavors and it's so bad." But then they end up flying in the air anyway. Of course, everyone else wants a taste of Willy Wonka's chocolate and is impressed. Eventually, the police chief arrives and says that he takes away Willy Wonka's money. That's a few shillings, obviously, because he's making
a few sovereign. He's selling chocolates. He's making money.
Yeah, very cheaply, and that's probably what the Slugworth and his group don't like. They don't like it that Willy Wonka's selling his chocolate really cheaply to the lower class and probably to the higher ups too along the way. And
exactly.
They don't like that because they don't want to make themselves look like, oh, we're a bunch of wealthy creeps.
They're just ripping everybody off. Actually, they're making inferior chocolate and keeping the good stuff for themselves.
Oh, yes. Yeah. They're all about there's chocolate and there's chocolate. Like, there's like two different types of chocolate out there. The one that kind of just you just eat, obviously, and the other that gives you a good feeling inside.
Yeah.
Which is probably the message behind it.
Harry Potter had that. Have a nice bit of chocolate, make you feel better. Yes.
Yeah, so the interesting thing about Willy Wonka is that his late mother, made some chocolate, and while he was more interested in being a magician side, but he kind of wanted to make his mother's dream of becoming, making their chocolate known to the world.
Exactly.
And so he kind of goes on a journey, that's
a self-discovery or something or other.
Where he comes up with these amazing ingredients for chocolate. And he also goes to an island where the Oompa Loompas lived and takes their chocolate.
He took their
cocoa beans.
Cocoa bean seeds, and they didn't like that. So one of them was after him like a spy trying to steal his chocolate.
Yeah, he actually stole them behind the scenes, and then we do encounter him eventually later on. Anyway, so of course Willy Wonka, he's broke, but luckily enough, one of the sergeants gives him one sovereign, obviously, and he presents it to the guys at the hotel. They then tell him that you owe us lots of money, like 1,000 sovereigns or something.
Lots and lots, yeah.
And he has to work it off in their laundry. It's sort of like one of those sweatshop.
It's a wash house.
Yeah, a sweatshop.
People take the laundry there. They wash it and fold it and iron it, whatever, and the people pick it up the next day, sort of thing.
Yeah. He meets some other people. Yeah, he meets some other people there who are working off their debts too. It turns out.
Yeah, they got stuck. They got suckered in too. Yeah.
Yeah, one is a comedy actor, and one is an accountant or ex-accountant because he's now working in the laundrette. Yeah, and a lady who's used to work for the telephone department
as a telephonist, operator,
and a nice. Well, I don't know what the other lady used to work as, obviously, but I think she worked in the sewer system, if that's what she said she did.
Yeah, she knew the sewers, so she must have had something to do with the
sewer system,
sanitation, not the sewer system.
Yeah, but anyway, she knows about
whatever.
it. Anyway, so he gets along with Noodle, a little orphan girl who doesn't know who her parents are or where they are, because she has this dream of one day finding out her mother works at a bookshop or a library, and she wishes that she could, live there with her and stuff like that. Of course, she's an orphan, and so she's been living with the people at the laundromat for like a long time.
Because they took her in, but she didn't end up there the same way. She went there as a baby. And Mr. Slugworth has paid the lady at the laundrette money to keep her there.
Why? We don't know yet.
To keep her out of the way. So it has
don't spoil it yet, Mike here. I don't want you to say it just yet. So keep it quiet.
Zip it.
Yes. Anyway, so Willy wants to get out of the laundromat because he needs to sell this chocolate, and it's the only time he could probably do it. So he makes a plan where he uses the dog, and not just the dog.
He automates the laundry process, but uses the dog on a treadmill.
Yeah, and while he's doing this, he actually he actually gets both the owners, falling in love. In a funny way.
Yeah, they fabricate some story to both of them, and they become a love interest, so they don't pay attention to the workers as much.
Anyway, so this gives Wonka the chance of, getting his out there. Of course, when he's about to sell some chocolate, he finds that the chocolate he had has vanished. And he tells Noodle about how a little red face and green and orangey face, green hair creature sneaks into his place and stole it.
And she doesn't believe him, obviously.
Of course not. She thinks that he probably sleepwalked and ate it.
You ate your own chocolate.
Yeah.
Well, no, not really, but
So they end up he doesn't have any. He needs special milk from a
giraffe,
no less. And so they sneak into a zoo while they not really actually gave a special chocolate to the zoo security guard.
Security guard, yeah.
And he gets drunk on the chocolate because it's got a lot of interesting alcoholic flavors in it.
Yeah, and he goes off his like a chop. Yeah,
oh yes, it was very good. Anyway, they eventually sneak in and gave some mints to the giraffe,
and she liked them.
And here we reveal that Wonka can't read because he kind of ends up in the wrong cage.
He walked in a lion's cage accidentally. Whoops.
Anyway.
Or tiger, whatever.
Not tiger. Yeah, tiger.
I can't remember now.
It was a tiger. Anyway, so him and Noodle get really close, but not close as in romantic close.
Look, don't be silly, okay?
They're just friend close.
Yes.
Anyway, there's also a lot of music in this one, so it's...
Yeah, there's a few tunes through it.
Yeah, there are a few moments where you can hear the Pure Imagination song in the background, indicating that it's still there, as a past presence to the one from Gene Wilder's version, obviously. And of course, it's in other versions, like the stage ones, they always use that song to present in their productions.
Yeah, whatever.
Come on, he can't even remember the song.
I can't remember the tune.
What are you doing?
It's just in my imagination.
Shut up.
Whatever.
Anyway, soon enough, Willy gets his the special milk from the giraffe.
Giraffe milk.
How? I don't know.
Milk it.
How can you milk a giraffe?
The same as milk a cow.
Anyway.
And you milk a goat. And you can milk an elephant if you have big hands.
Tried?
I don't milk anything.
Have you ever tried?
I'm a city boy. Have you ever?
No.
Well, shut up then.
But I don't know if anyone in the zoo would ever do that either.
They might.
Anyway, so...
Monkey milk's nice.
Would you shut up? Anyway, so he gets the milk, and he then heads back to the laundromat, where the other workers are kind of relieved because they feel like they've finally been given a break from the stupid stress of working under these two people.
I've been sitting there, the dog was doing all the work.
Yeah, having a cup of tea.
Pretty good, eh?
Well, yeah, very clever.
Rest in peace, Shay's going to have something to say about us.
Oh,
Animal welfare,
Yes. Anyway, Willy starts making his attempts at trying to get himself noticed by using his every maneuver to sell his chocolates as he goes along. He even asks the other guys to help him out too along the way, because of course he uses the sewer system to, whenever the police or the chocolate cartel see him, he would jump into one of the sewer drains and quickly make his escape.
Make a hasty retreat. And they didn't know where he was.
Yeah, and the chocolate is sort of helping a lot of people. There was even a scene where he helps a man who was about to propose to his love interest, but he gets the confidence he needs through the chocolate.
Exactly, made him feel confident and everything. And he went and gave her a big kiss and they got married the next day.
Yeah, or something.
Lovely. Yeah.
Anyway, it's pretty nice. And eventually everyone's remarking about how wonderful the chocolate is improving their lives. But
I like chocolate.
But the cocktail don't like this. They even bribe, again, as I said, the chief and try to get him to...
more and more chocolates.
Yeah, you should see the amount of chocolates
he's getting fatter and fatter.
Yeah.
He can't even get out of the car in the end. Yeah.
Oh, yes. And you could see how much is on his face. I mean,
he must have a bodysuit on. He's getting really big.
And a lot of special effects makeup. Or maybe it's CGI. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
He's getting fat.
Yeah.
He's starting to look like me.
That's the worst part.
What?
No. Anyway, eventually, he does catch the Oompa Loompa, as it turns out, and the Oompa Loompa explains how he was guarding the cocoa beans, and of course, when Willy stole them, he is told by his guys to go and collect what they owe from him.
Exactly.
Of course, Willy says, maybe we could just a compromise, maybe something. And of course, the Oompa just steals the chocolate, knocks him out, bang him on the head, and just steal the stuff.
You just can't trust Oompa Loompas. They're really naughty guys.
He's not the very reasonable partner to begin with, obviously. Not to be expected. Anyway, So let me see what happens. Oh yeah, soon enough, Willy Wonka is able to open the shop he dreams about, and it turns out to be a smash on opening day. But then something bad happens.
Yeah, someone's what's the word?
Sabotages his chocolate.
Yeah. And things start going wrong. So obviously he doesn't make too much money.
Yeah, everyone wants their money back, and they can even vandalize his shop. They kind of burned the thing down.
Yep.
And the guys, the chocolate cartel, approach him, told him that we'll pay you your debts and your friend's debts, and some money towards Noodle too, so she can have a good life, if you stop making chocolate. Forever. Of course, Willy Wonka shrugs his shoulders and says, fine, I will. So his dreams are dashed, and he's forced to leave to the North Pole. Supposedly. So he gets his bags and starts heading towards the boat that's awaiting him there. The chocolate cartel, they're awaiting him and say their final goodbye. And here, as Willy gets onto the boat, he meets up with the Oompa Loompa, who explains how, so you're going to give up all that stuff. And while he's about to nod off after having a cocktail, Willy notices something on his wrist. It's a imprint from Slugworth's ring. It's very significant in this scene.
It is.
It turns out it looks like the shape of an N or a Z, and it's a really significant, especially how Noodle also has a ring that's attached to a chain
around her neck,
which indicates that
it looks the same.
Yes. Anyway, he then tries to go to the captain, but the captain's gone, and all that remains is some bombs on board. So quickly, Willy Wonka and the jump ship, and of course the chocolate cartel assume that they're both dead, or that they think Willy Wonka's dead, obviously, and they gawk and say, "Ha ha ha! Great, he's gone," and they give the chief, the police chief, a big mound of chocolate that's the size of a house.
Yeah, not bad, hey? Yum.
Anyway, the next day, the workers, that Willy Wonka worked with, are given they're told that you are paid that your debts are paid, and you can head off, go back to wherever you came from, except for Noodle.
Yeah, Noodle's money was there at the given over to the people at the laundromat, and they didn't let her go.
No.
Because they've been told not to let her go. So that's going to keep them in money to look after her and feed her until she gets old and grey.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Whatever that means. Anyway, eventually Noodle lets the cat out of the bag and tells the owners that she and Willy Wonka have lied to them about one of them being an aristocrat. And I don't know if they did. I don't think they believed her, obviously. Because they don't.
So see, the laundromat lady loves aristocrats, and sent a rumour around that the guy Bleacher was actually aristocrat in exile.
Yes.
So she started to flirt with him, and he flirted with her, and they're having a nice, tight relationship until such time as Noodle said it was all a lie.
Yes. She's put into confinement in a sort of closet. I don't know what it is.
Bugger.
But soon enough, Willy Wonka appears with his friends, who all have decided to come back to help Noodle and Willy Wonka. And he tells her about how he found out that there was a ring on Slugworth's hand and thinks there's a connection between them two. So they also have to find the ledger, a secret ledger that belongs to Slugworth, which has the illegal activities he's been doing.
There's two, as with a lot of business, there's two sets of books. The fake ones, which the accountants make up for the taxman, and the real ones. And the real ones have a lot of incriminating evidence in them, which are going to sink the cartel.
Yes, see, one of the guys who were working in the laundromat was also an accountant to Slugworth.
And he found out about the other book, and that's why he ended up fired and no money, and he had to go to the this boarding house, and he got sucked into washing.
Yes.
Aha.
Anyway, eventually, so they sort of bring out. They drug the not the drug. Well, not they drug. They get the zoo security guard drunk with chocolate again, and they then steal the giraffe that they previously milked obviously,
and they use that to
as a bit of cover, so they sent the giraffe in along, and it chases the clergyman inside the church because the church,
it's a big cathedral.
The cathedral is a sort of cover for where the the chocolate cartel
store the good chocolate downstairs, because all the priests here are chocoholics.
Yes, they use that, keep silent because of their chocolate addiction.
Who wouldn't?
Yeah, it was so funny watching Rowan Atkinson getting chased down by a giraffe. Fictional or not real.
It looked good. It looked funny.
It was funny. Anyway, eventually, he phones in the zoo, but actually he phones he actually phones the phone operator, who turns out to be the lady I told you about, who worked in the laundromat, who manages to send the phone message to her friends, who was sent to the commie actor, obviously, who goes on and pretends to be the security guard at the zoo and tells them that they'll send someone to collect the giraffe, obviously. And, of course, it's very funny, that scene. Mm-hmm.
The people used to work at the laundromat.
They were able to sneak in, and they were able to go down through a special lift inside the confessional. Yeah, and as they head inside there, they begin to try to, they kind of drug the security guard lady in that room using the same chocolate as they did with the zoo security guard. And they then head into the room where the vault. This is where the vault, where the ledger is.
Yeah, and they couldn't find initially.
Yeah. But they eventually find it in a secret compartment somewhere, and they open it up. And of course, this shows you who they bribed, who has been kept.
All the good bits.
Yeah, but then Slugworth and his men arrive, and they plan on drowning them in chocolate. Death by chocolate is quite.
What a way to go, H. Drowning in chocolate.
I don't think I could dare it. So they're placed inside this silo thingy wing, and the chocolate from all sides start pumping into the room itself. And it goes up and up. And of course, before we get to that, Willy Wonka gives them a very big jar of chocolates that he wants to give to the Oompa Loompa. So he kind of throws it to them, and they make the promise of passing it on. But in reality,
they're going to eat
they eat it all.
Yeah.
And
however,
yes. But eventually the Oompa Loompa comes in and saves Willy Wonka and his friend Noodle. And eventually, I should mention in the office, they find Willy Wonka reveals that about her Noodle and Slugworth's relationship. Like it turns out his brother was married to Noodle's mother. And, they weren't married. No. They were going to get married.
Slugworth's brother had a relationship with a lady, and they had a baby, which is Noodle. And didn't the brother die or something?
Slugworth's brother died, and that made him the inheritor of the fortune.
Yes, and he didn't want anyone claiming his fortune, so he made sure that little Noodle was put out of the way.
Yeah.
But being a nice man, he didn't kill her. He just put her in servitude.
Yeah.
Yes.
And he doesn't want this to get out and ruin him or ruin whatever. Anyway, we eventually learn who... Noodle's mother is. Her name is Dorothy. I don't know her last name, obviously. It's not important.
Dorothy Mum. There you go.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the present. The Oompa Loompa saves them, and eventually they quickly get out of the silo and we're able to take the ledger. Eventually, as Slugworth and his colleagues head out the door of the cathedral, they tell the chief that Willy Wonka and Noodle they died, tragically.
And then they walk out the door.
Yes, and then Willy Wonka and Noodle appear holding the ledger, and here they
give it to one of the policemen,
Yeah.
not the police chief, though.
Yeah, it turns out the deputy he seems to be he was much more of an ally to
He didn't eat chocolate probably.
Yeah, and he reads the ledger and found out that the police chief was,
He's corrupt.
He was corrupt.
Naughty.
And so he was arrested, but before we can get the cyclophanes and his colleagues try to run away, but then suddenly they start levitating off the ground, indicating that they have been given the special levitating chocolate.
Floaty chocolates, yes.
Of course, it has a bit of a delay effect before it.
He put a delay thing on the chocolates.
Yeah.
He's a very clever guy, isn't he?
Oh, yes, very. Yeah. And of course, he tells them, I'm sure you'll come down eventually, but we don't know.
Don't know when.
Because the only time you could probably get down is if you kind of blow gas.
Or maybe burp or throw up or have a dump, whatever. Yeah,
I don't know. Seeing as they ate so much of that chocolate that Willy Wonka gave them, this could go on for a long time.
You do.
What?
Oh, sorry.
Anyway, the chocolate in the silo suddenly starts coming out of the fountain, turning into a chocolate fountain.
Chocolate fountain, like you got the fondue thingies. Yeah. Pretty good.
Yeah, and everyone cheers and starts enjoying the chocolate. Of course, Willy Wonka added his own personal flavour to it, making it his.
Exactly.
Making the chocolate Kato's chocolate his chocolate now.
He added something special to it.
Yeah, and he takes out while everyone's celebrating, he takes out a bar of chocolate that once his mother created
made years ago, which he never ate. He kept in memory of his mother. What a good boy!
And
I'll have eaten chocolate.
And as he's opening the chocolate, we see something gold.
A golden ticket type thing.
It turns out it's a written note from his mother that says that the secret to making the best chocolate is the people you share it with.
Exactly. See?
Yes.
So, if Sarah, you get some chocolates and give them to me, I'll be really happy.
Mm-hmm.
You might not be. No.
Have you had enough?
Okay. Right.
Anyway.
I'm not floating.
He eventually gives each of his friends a piece of the chocolate, and they all eat it. And, of course, he feels...
The mum's chocolate, yeah.
Yeah, and they have a nice moment. And, of course, here in Willy Wonka tells her that they've kind of contacted
found Noodle's mum.
Noodle's mother, and he then takes her over to. It turns out she's working in a library and living there too. So they eventually arrive there, and her mother looks thrilled to see her because I guess she
missed a little baby.
Yeah, and now she's a grown little girl. So they embrace, and all the time Willy Wonka's singing Pure Imagination song, a little different, obviously in parts, obviously. And there as he's about to head off, he sees the little Oompa Loompa appear, and he says, "I'm still waiting on my, some of the remaining chocolate that you owe us back." He then gives him a big jar of chocolate, and the Oompa Loompa was surprised that he was given it, not stole it or anything like that. And as he's heading off, Willy Wonka says, "Why don't you stay around? You can become my chocolate tester and stuff."
And he thought, ooh,
what a good opportunity.
He likes chocolate.
So they eventually head off together, and as he's singing, we see them approaching this very big ancient castle, a ruined castle, that's up for sale. And I guess Willy Wonka...
And all saying, "This is crap, it'll work this," and all of a sudden...
It suddenly transforms into
a beautiful
factory. Chocolate factory. And all the time, Willy Wonka's singing the song, and it's starting to transform it turns into the special chocolate room in the book and in Gene Wilder's version. It's so beautiful, and it's just incredible. Then we fade out, and as the credits roll, the Oompa Loompa, his name's Lofty, I should have mentioned, sorry, my bad, and he gives us a recap on the other characters in the story. All the Willy Wonka's friends and colleagues who worked in the laundromat with him, they go home to their friends and family and stuff, while the other ones, the bad guys who ran the laundromat, were given their just desserts. And before they were getting arrested, they tried to dispose of evidence of the previous things that messed Willy Wonka's chocolates.
They tried to eat it, and guess what?
It backfired on them.
They all went funny colours and stuff.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah.
And they're dragged away, kicking and screaming.
As one would.
End.
Yay!
Yeah, I do think this one is not too bad, guys. I mean, as I said before, I'm keeping an open mind about this one as much as possible.
No, look, it's good. Look, we haven't done a fantasy for an awful long time. And we do fantasy. Mm-hmm. Now, this is a good family flick. Mums, dads, people young at heart, like the original Willy Wonka and the other one, the remake. Mm-hmm. And this one, look, if you like this sort of stuff, it's a good flick. It's got music in it. It's not continually singing through it.
No.
But some good numbers in it. But it's a good family friendly story. Yeah. If you're looking for something like that, but the filming's great. You can see where the money was spent.
Well spent.
A lot of not special effects. The sets for the chocolate areas and whatever. There's a lot of stuff involved there.
There's a lot of thought in it.
Yeah, so they put a lot of effort into making it. And this young guy who plays Willy Wonka, what's his name again? Chucklebucket. What's his name? Chuckles. Timothy Chalamet. He is a very fine actor, singer, dancer. He's going to be something special in the future.
I got to admit that.
You should have to launch him up into another level.
Well, I heard there might be a sequel, another one that's coming out maybe later on, as a continuation story to the Willy Wonka prequel series.
Yep.
Maybe we might be looking into that, considering they
do
like
a side story. A Lump's tale, maybe.
Yeah, who knows? Who knows? I mean, who knows? Maybe they might even introduce the glass elevator later on. That would be something cool.
Glass elevator takes you anywhere. Rawr.
Yeah, but it would be an interesting idea, considering Ronald Dahl, he made a sequel in the book series where it's called the Charlie and the Glass Elevator, which was never turned into a movie or TV series.
I don't recall anything, no.
Well, it was in the book series, and fortunately, they never did another
movie.
Maybe
the first one was good enough. Anyway, let's grade this.
Who knows? Maybe they might incorporate this into as a prequel for. As a continuation story would be cool.
Let us grade this.
Okay. So how are we going to rate this one?
I'm trying to think. I can't find there's anything wrong with, and I love the sets. I don't like fantasy musicals a lot, but this wasn't too bad. So I'm not going to I won't let that affect anything because I like it. I've been giving things up around 9s a lot at the moment, so this is going to be up around 9.5-ish because everything is so well done.
Agreed. So I do think it's pretty good, and I don't care what most people have said about it. I've had my own thoughts about it.
And Hugh Grant does make a cute Oompa Loompa.
Yeah, if they did cast. They did a dwarf actor, and he would what if the chances he may not be a good singer
or dancer?
There's that
or
too.
Anything else?
There's that chance that could
happen.
happen.
He might like chocolate.
That doesn't come into it.
Oh, sorry.
I don't think even the most of the stuff in this may be made of chocolate, for what we know. I mean, there are people out there who may be allergic to chocolate. I heard that before.
It's carob.
Well, there's a chance that most of the stuff there may have not been made of chocolate.
No, it would have been plastic molds and whatever, probably. Yep. Anyway, what are you going to grade that?
Well, I'm going to grade it. I'm going to, considering the costuming, the sets,
the filming,
the
songs,
thoughts,
all the work's been put into it. Yeah.
And the fact that this one focuses on the Gene Wilder's version more than it did with the Johnny Depp's version, because there is a little teeny differences here and there, like the fact the Oompa Loompas were the same size, like both Hugh Grant's one and Tim Burton's ones, they were both the same size, even though they explained in the ending why this is so. It turns out that Lofty was a few inches shorter than
the other guys.
Oompa Loompas.
Yeah. His name wasn't really. His nickname wasn't really Lofty. He admitted that in the end.
Yes.
See, you couldn't keep up the lie all the time, could you?
Nah.
Ha 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 ha.
But anyway, we try. Anyway, so I do think that it's a good story, and I like the fact that this one had a few good Easter eggs, some good ones.
Chocolate ones?
I like to think that maybe in the sequels to come, it would probably continue the story.
Did
and
you give it a
you
grading yet?
So I'm going to rate it 10 out of 10 myself.
10. Ooh,
Well, it's a promising story, and
That's good.
unlike other versions, I have nothing against it. I'm not going to say nasty things about it. Like, unlike other people who just try to make this out to be the worst, because people don't like prequels or sequels or remakes.
They can be a problem.
I'm one of many people who do not like it sometimes either, but
this works.
But it works because it's been a while since we had a Charlie and the Chocolate Factory related movie, because it's been a couple of years since Tim Burton's one. So I think it's good timing, because plenty of space, to start writing up a new story.
And where do you get it? I'm glad you asked. There you go. eBay, plenty for sale. Amazon, you can rent it or you can buy it. There you go. So and obviously any other places who distribute and stream, you'll probably find it being a reasonably new title.
Right.
There you go. Anything else you want to say before you say goodnight?
Apart from the fact that it is a good story, guys, don't listen to the other reviewers. They don't. Sometimes these people just talk nonsense.
They do.
Like the other day, we saw something that was nonsense that we didn't really like, and most of the time I thought to myself, why are they bringing up this thing now, considering it's many years ago and no one remembers it, or even bothers to keep track of it because we were little children.
Leave it alone.
I'm talking about the whole Mary Poppins thing that a lot of people keep going on about, but for the life of me, I'm not the only one who has not cared or noticed at the time, because... And
now everyone's going to say, what are you talking about, Sarah?
Okay, a lot of people have been commenting about that of a vile or discriminative word that was put into the dialogue in the original Mary Poppins movie.
They use the expression Hottentot. In the original Mary Poppins way back when, 60 years ago or whatever it is. Okay, now... As a child, I had no idea what Hottentot was.
Me neither.
And I was lay odds that most of the adults who watched it didn't know what a Hottentot was.
And the same for children.
And which I just said that. And nowadays, it's even probably just the same, because haven't heard the word Hottentot since ever.
Yeah.
So no one actually uses the expression, apart from some people in a particular area maybe still use the expression occasionally, and some people, a very small minority, are going, that word in that movie is naughty, we don't like it. Suck it up, get over it.
Yeah.
It was done 60 years ago,
Yeah, and barely anyone uses the word.
And no one cares.
Yeah.
No one's going to say, oh, look, that word has been used, Hottentot. No one gives a damn.
Yeah.
So stop complaining about things all the freaking time, okay?
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to several people on Facebook and social media, and they all said the same thing to me. None of them remember hearing
Exactly.
it, and they don't ever use the word ever because they couldn't.
They don't
for
know
the life
what it
of
means.
me, they didn't know what it means, and they didn't know it existed.
Exactly right.
The rest of the time, the kids, and when they were kids, they probably watched the funny bits.
And they didn't listen to that. And you skip over words you don't understand when you're a kid. And the adults aren't tuned into those words. They, oh, look, Hottentot. I must look that in the dictionary and see what it means.
Yeah. When I
ain't going to happen.
Yeah, when I heard that word, I thought that the guy was just complaining about that during the Chidney dance scene, was that they were having a robbery, like maybe a robbery in progress with
a hot dog or a raid by
or just a simple battle,
He was an ex-Navy man, so a hot dog could be another Navy from another country.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have known.
Yeah, I didn't really to pick it.
I had to look it up now to find out what it actually meant.
Yeah. Anyway, it's not important. And guys,
well, you raised it. You raised the issue.
It's just that it's been an issue. It's been mentioned several times. It's not funny, and I don't really like the fact that they're bringing it up now.
And they shouldn't have to change the film just to satisfy half dozen people or something.
Or even just mention a warning at the beginning, because this
What?
is getting out of hand. The whole
Political
warning
correctness.
thing.
There's no room for it anymore. It's overdone.
It's overdone,
Anyway.
and most of these kids don't see the.
No one cares.
Because if Snow White is getting kissed without consent, she's going to be stuck there sleeping in the coffin for the rest of her days and die.
And she'll smell. And turn bright green.
Would you like her to die in a coffin for the rest of her days, or would you want her being saved?
And the guy wasn't raping her; he was in love with her.
Yes.
He probably knew when she was a young girl, and he gave her a kiss on a brief kiss, love's first kiss, and that's supposed to wake her up.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that. Get over it, you idiots. Anyway, can we get over this now?
Sure.
We are actually we've been reviewing the Wonka film.
Yes. So
you
know our thoughts about it, and of course, I think there might be a DVD and Blu-ray release already. Obviously,
there is. I just said it already at eBay and Amazon. You want it and get it.
Yeah. So you can actually get it now. So you can
stream it from somewhere.
And stream it. I don't know if it's on any Netflix related things yet.
It may be. Check other streaming sites. Otherwise, rent it through Amazon Prime. Okay. I'm not advertising them, but
anyway, so that's our thoughts on
and everything else.
So I hope you guys may check it out. And again, like we always tell our people the fans out there, don't always necessarily believe every single reviewer.
We say, because we could be wrong.
Because,
not likely, but we know.
There are chances that some reviewers would say differently about this movie, and we'll pass on the negativity on it. There's always something positive to find in a movie, without dredging up some bad stuff about it. So I suggest watch it and keep an open mind about it, guys. That's my advice to you guys. Mm-hmm. So that's about it from us, guys. So this is Sarah Stephenson.
And Michael.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. See you guys next time, and I hope you have a good weekend. Bye for now.
Bye, guys.